Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing pack 11 of the Agora models release of build the SAS Willys Jeep. Now look, the Jeep's pretty much all done. We're at the point now where we're putting loads of accessories on, so I don't think I need to turn this upside down anymore, which is good. So I'm going to keep that there. I believe we do put all these other jerry cans in later today as well, but I'm not actually sure what we're doing today. We're going to find that out together. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, once again, I have put a link in the video description, and you do have this QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so let's open the box here, and as you can see, all the parts in these stages are in these paper bags, which is brilliant for the environment. It's really cut down on all the plastics we're actually using here, and we're actually going to be starting, just seeing if there is an order for these. 84, is it 84? I think that's going to be the first stage. Yep, stage 84 is the first stage. So, stage 84, we're going to be doing the flare gun and spare wheel tyre. As you can see, I've got the tyre here. That's probably going to need to go in water, I'm guessing. Now, for the flare gun, all we're going to do is just put that in the holster like that. That's going to be the quickest stage known to man, because that's all we have to do in that stage. So, stage 85, as you can see, we've got the inner rim for that tyre that we just had. And this is where I am going to have to boil a kettle up now, because I need to soften this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have my mat ready here, and I'll go and get some water. So here you go. Very, very, very hot water, and I've just put that in there. That's probably going to take about 30 seconds to soften up. Okay, and when we're happy with that, all I'm going to do, put that to one side, fish this out. I want to get rid of all of the water that I've got on the side. It should be quite soft now. Put this into this side here, just like that. And then I'm going to match this off on the other side with this here. And then I'm going to put them in with these BM screws. And with this last screw just going in here, that's all there is to do in that stage. So stage 86, we're going to be fitting the first spare wheel. So let's just get everything out here. So I'm going to zoom up a little bit more on my camera there. We're going to need this first. I need it to be in this orientation, just like this. This is going to be going onto the rear of the vehicle. So it's going to be going into the position just here, on like that. I'll show you on the top camera there, on like that. And it's going to be held in with 4 DM screws. That's perfect. Take the spare wheel. I'm going to be putting that just on here. So it fits nice and flush on, and again, I'll show you that on the top camera. Let's get a KM screw ready, because again, I'm going to show you on the top camera here. I'm going to put a washer in here, and then secure this in with the KM screw. So that is in place on there. I'm going to close that off by putting this hub over the top, and that is what that's looking like. Now, I need this rod here, and I'm going to be screwing 2 of these really tiny screws onto this rod. So let's get these on. They go pretty much all the way down, I believe, to that position there. Turn it round. Let's put the other one on this side. Now they have provided 4 nuts. We're going to find out what they're for in a second. That's those 2 in there. Let's bring the car over, and what I need to do, if I have it this way round, is open the bonnet. Now, one of these is going to go into the hole just at the back here. Hopefully you can see that. And the other one is going to go through the hole just here. So it's probably best to put that one in first, and then put the back one in. Grab another nut here and put this on the end. This is going to be a bit fiddly. And then turn this to get this to lock into place. So now that's going on there. And then bring the nut that we screwed on first all the way back down to meet it, which is going to lock this into place. just like that. So this can't go anywhere now. Excellent. Put this to one side. So as you can see, we've got these Vickers K machine gun here. We're going to fit one of these to this bracket here. So this is going to be going onto the centre pillar just here. Just like that. It's underneath that screw. And I'm going to want to put a DM screw in each side. So one in here. And one just in this side here. You want it quite stiff so that it doesn't rock around on its own like that. But then just going to do exactly the same thing on the second one. If you put this one up like this, it might give you a little bit of extra access to get this screw in, which is going to be a bit hard. But perseverance is my friend. And that's going in. And as you can see, they can be moved, but they are quite stiff in there. Excellent. Okay, I need some AM screws now because I'm about to put this brace on. But if we turn this upside down, and we've got a brace to put into these two sections just here and here. And it's going to be held in with an AM screw. So I've got one loaded up here. One going in that side. And one just in the other side here. That's good. And with that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now, stage 87, we're going to be fitting a Vickers K machine gun. So looking at the instructions here, we do have another wheel, which I don't think we're using. So I'm going to put that to one side for a second. I've got some TM-DM screws, and in here, I've got some pins by the look of it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking this machine gun here. So this is going to be going into the position up here, and it's going to be held in with DM screws each side. And again, I want it to be tight enough so that it has got some resistance when I put this in some sort of direction there. As you can see, it holds its own. Now, I've got this strip here looking like that. I've got this hook that I'm going to, or circle hook that I'm going to be putting into the center there. Now, I am actually going to glue that into place because I don't want this coming out. Now this is going to be going onto the top section just here like this, and it's held in with TM screws from each side. These are very tiny screws, so I'm using my really tiny screwdriver for this. So one just there, and one just on this side. Then I'm going to be doing the same on this one here. Again, I'll put some glue in this, and this is going to be going on the end just here. So that's how that looks. And then we're going to be putting these magazines on. And there's two holes that these clip into. So one on this side, they've just got lugs. And put the other one on the other side. Perfect. They look really good. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So stage 88, we're going to be making the next spare wheel. So once again, I need to put this in boiling water. And then once again, just like last time, fish the tyre out, get rid of all that water in there. Put in this side. Turn it over. Put it in the other side. Lining up the holes. And then securing that with BM screws. And we just need 4 of these. Perfect. Then I can just put that to one side. Bring the Jeep back over. Keep calling this a car, don't I? This is actually going to be going on top, just here, like this. And I'm going to be holding this in with a DM screw. We don't want to over tighten this one. Screw through here and screw that down. Excellent. And that's in position. And with that done, that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 89, we're going to be fitting the second spare wheel. So we'll have all the stuff again to do that. Oh, hello. We've got some more of these cartridges. So just moving that to one side, I need DM screws. These are color coded again. And do exactly what I did last time. I'm going to be putting these onto this side. The Jeep, making sure this is around the right way. Yep, it's going to be going that way there. Putting them in with 4 screws. And then once again, perhaps best on the top camera, we're going to put the tyre on. Put the washer in. And secure with a KM screw. Excellent. And then all we've got to do, once again, is just put the hub over the top. And that's both of the spare tyres in position. Okay, put that to one side. Now we have done this part once before. What I'm going to be doing is building another magazine. So in the top here, I've got this little detail here. It's going to go in like that. But it's held in from the other side with an RP screw. These are tiny screws again, so I'll use my tiny screwdriver. Now, because there's a locating lug on this, there's only one way this can go. But I'll get that in nice and tight. And then I'm just going to be taking this handle and putting this either side here. So that's on there, that's the top done. On the bottom, we've got a clip to put on. The clip has got two locating lugs, so we're just pushing that into place. So that looks like this when it's in. And then once again, we have done this before. We've got some double-sided tape here where I'm going to peel that off and put that into position inside here and peel off this side. So we've just got the sticky side left. And then we want to put 12 of these cartridges into position. I'm just going to break them off and put them in. So I'm going to put the two back ones in first. And you want to kind of keep them uniform all the way around here. So let me get these all in. You get the idea. But that's all in there. Then we're just going to be putting the top on. Now there is a notch on this, so we need to match the notch up, which goes underneath the clip. And there you go. That's in place. That's all there is to do in that stage. So stage 90, we're going to be assembling the M2 Browning machine gun. And it looks like we're going to be making another magazine. So let's just put that to one side for a second. And that's just a case, first off, of putting, this is metal by the way, putting this all the way down here. So it's sitting like that. Put that to one side, and once again, we're going to be building another one of these magazines. And that's another magazine created. In stage 91, we're still going to be continuing assembling this M2 Browning machine gun. Details running away from me here. Interestingly, we've got no screws in this stage. All little parts though. Now, out of these two holes, one is slightly smaller. I can see this one here is the smaller one. So I need the bigger one first. And that's going to break off the sprue. And it's going to go on this side over here like that. We want to trace this like one of those old electric games all the way around the wire. God, I haven't done this in years. So that comes out the top, just like that there. Then I need the smaller one, doing exactly the same thing on the other side. So there you go, that's at the top. And then we're going to stop all of these coming up by putting this join between these 2 points here. So one in that side, one in that side. So there you go, they are in position just like that. So in between these rings, I've got this to put in. Just going to go kind of like that. And now this is where we just need to identify again what one's the bigger one, what one's the smaller one, because this is the bigger one here. I'm about to put the main barrel through here. So it goes for the bigger ring first and then comes out of the smaller ring down here. So that fits on just like that. That looks good. I've then got this end here, which I'm going to be putting on, which just goes on the end like this. Quite a tight fit, this one. So I'm just going to twist it into position. So now that's on just like that there. And basically we just put that to one side. Bring over the car, and we're now in a position to start loading this with the jerry cans. So let me get them all up. Now I will be weathering these up, but basically these are going to go in here. So let's put 1, 2, 3, 4 in that side. This goes over the top. Just show you here, over the top. I've got to thread it through the hole just here. I'm going to use the trick that I used on the Orca here because it's hard to thread through. I'm just going to drop some glue just on the end here to stop this fraying. And it's going to make this end quite stiff so that it's easy to feed through. So there you go. I'm using my fingers now, which has now dried that. It instantly made that hard. As you can see, I can get that through here, no problems now. There you go. That's all in there. And then we've just got these little bits of tape here. I'm going to put it on one side of this ribbon, peel it off. I am going to weather these down, by the way. And then make sure that's tight and secure that into position just like that. Perfect. Do exactly the same on the other side. There you go. As you can see on the back camera, they're all in position. I'm just then going to be putting the sun compass into position. Now this just goes on the front here. Push that down. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 92, which is the last stage of this pack, quite a heavy pack this is. Lots of little details as well. First thing I'm going to need is this side here, and this is labelled, it's not labelled at all actually, it just looks like that. I've got this detail I need to put in. On the top camera it needs to be this way round. So that's fitting in there with the little detail lug at the back. I'm going to take what we created in the last stage and put that just in there. That's growing very quick. And then I'm going to put these together by attaching this side to that side there. Now, I've got some DM screws here, and I'm going to put this together. This is actually held in 3 places. One at the top here, and then just one right at the very back here. Okay, looking good. Let's put that to one side. I've got these very tiny things now to put in, so I'm going to want this really tiny thing here to be going into this sort of like, it looks like a spring. So if the spring is that way, this is very tiny. It's going to be fitting kind of like in the inside of this. There you go. Hopefully you can see that tiny thing there. Wow. Okay, this is going to be going onto this top section just here. So what we just need to do is push this in so it fits in just like that. Now, that's interesting. Look, it's made the target. Can you see that? We don't want that falling out. So we've got a ZM screw here. Oh, and it just fell out there, which is actually going to hold that in from the side. This is going to be a tiny screw. Actually, it's not. It's just a very long screw. Now, when I'm actually putting these in, I do want to ensure that that target, the holes are completely lined up here. If I can do that, we're going to have a better time when I'm actually attaching this. Because this is then going to be going into the slot at the side here. Hold this down from the top, and put the screw in. What I am going to do though is I'm going to leave that to dry for a minute because that is hard to put in. And I do need them to be welded together just like that. But I can continue while that's drying. Now I need this part here, which has got the little lug facing me upwards like this. This is actually going to be going into the top, just here. And I'm holding it in with TM screws. That little lug is actually facing down. There you go, that's in position. Now what we don't want to do is fully tighten it because we've got a detail here, which is going to be going into that little lug that we had in there. Then we can tighten this up. So let me just get this all in and I'll show you what this looks like. There you go. That's how that looks. Turn this over. And we've got one that we're going to be doing on the bottom. Again, I'm having that little lug facing down. So I'm going to open some LP screws now. These are really tiny as well. And I'm going to be putting these red sections between both of these brackets. So I'll do the ones on this side first, and then I'll repeat on the other side. That's perfect. They're like the handles, the hand grips. Do the same on the other side. Okay, so that's both of those in. I've got then this detail looking like this, which is going to be going into the hole just in the middle here. But I've got it in. There you go. Couple more bits to put in. I've got this little post here, which is actually going to be secured into here with an LP screw. One of these tiny screws again. We're definitely doing all the fiddly bits now. This is then going to be going into the holes that we've got just at the side here. So the locating lug goes into the bigger hole, and I'm putting a DM screw into the smaller hole. And this guide is now dry, so I'm just going to put this in here and screw this in with one of these ZM screws. So that can't come out, as you can see, but with that done, that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So how impressive is that looking at the moment? I love it. We have got one more pack to go, and I think that's going to be here any time now. I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.